Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive? Today, we're going underground, well, sort of, into the world of a creature that's as fascinating as it is misunderstood.
Misunderstood is right.
Yeah, today's subject is the Gila Monster.
Uh-huh.
And we're basing this deep dive on an essay all about this, well, venomous lizard of the American Southwest. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Venomous lizard, that sounds a little scary.
Yeah, a little intimidating for sure.
But I promise you there's so much more to these creatures than their bite.
That's the thing about Gila monsters. Their reputation often kind of gets ahead of them.
Oh, right, exactly.
And people just hear those two words, venomous lizard, and they immediately jump to danger.
Exactly. Like straight out of some like old monster movie, right?
Totally.
But the reality is far more nuanced.
Oh, for sure.
So let's start with just like the basics. Gila monsters, one of only two venomous lizard species in the entire world.
That's right.
That's pretty unique right off the bat.
It is.
Found in those deserts of the U.S. and Mexico. So not your, your average backyard lizard.
No, they're definitely specialized for that kind of environment.
Absolutely. And their appearance really reflects that, right?
Yeah.
Black and either orange or kind of pinkish scales that almost look like beads. It's really a striking look.
It is, and those scales, they serve a really interesting dual purpose. So, you've got the camouflage aspect, helps them blend into that rocky desert terrain.
Right, makes sense.
But it's also a warning signal. It's like a built-in "don't mess with me" sign to any potential predators.
Yeah, like a natural stop sign.
Exactly.
That's amazing how nature just combines like beauty and practicality that way.
Right. It's incredible.
Yeah, I know they spend a lot of their time underground, kind of hidden away. But what about what fuels these desert dwellers? What's on the menu for a Gila monster?
So they're what's called opportunistic feeders, meaning they're not super picky. They'll pretty much go for anything they can overpower and catch. So we're talking eggs, small mammals, birds, even other reptiles.
Wow. Okay.
Nothing is really off limits.
So they're not picky eaters.
No, not at all. But here's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
They can actually survive on just a few large meals a year.
Wait, hold on. A few meals a year. How is that even possible?
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. They've evolved a slow metabolism and this unique adaptation for storing fat reserves.
Okay.
And guess where?
Where?
Their tail.
Oh, the tail. So it's like a little a built-in pantry.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like having a little snack pack attached.
That makes a lot of sense, especially in such a harsh desert environment.
Yeah, it's essential for their survival.
Okay, so we've talked about their looks,
Mm.
a little bit about their lifestyle, but
Yeah.
let's address the elephant in the room, the venom. I mean,
Yeah.
we know they're venomous. We said that right at the beginning.
Right.
But they deliver it differently than snakes, right? More of a chewing action rather than a quick injection.
Exactly. So they have these grooves in their teeth
Okay.
that basically channel the venom as they bite and chew. So it is a slower delivery method, but it is potent.
I bet.
And while it's rarely fatal to humans,
Okay.
a bite from a Gila monster is definitely not going to be a pleasant experience.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But here's where things get really, really interesting.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. I love this part.
The venom of the Gila monster actually contains a compound called exenatide.
Okay.
And scientists have discovered that this compound has incredible potential for treating type 2 diabetes.
Wow, a diabetes drug derived from Gila monster venom. That's incredible. What's the connection there?
So exenatide, what it does is it mimics the action of a naturally occurring hormone in our bodies called GLP-1. And this hormone helps regulate blood sugar levels. So it's like the venom holds this key to unlocking a better way to manage diabetes. And that's one of the reasons why protecting Gila monsters and their habitats is so crucial.
Right.
We just might be overlooking other medical marvels hidden within these creatures that we might misunderstand.
Yeah, like a whole pharmacy hidden in plain sight, right?
Exactly.
But let's go back to their reputation for a second, because they're often portrayed as these, aggressive monsters lurking in the shadows, ready to pounce. Is there Is there any truth to that image?
No, not at all. Honestly, Gila monsters are quite shy and reclusive. They
Yeah.
much prefer to avoid confrontation.
Okay.
And if they are threatened, their first line of defense is going to be hissing, puffing themselves up to look larger, generally just trying to intimidate. Biting is truly a last resort for them.
So it's more about defense than aggression.
Exactly.
It's a shame that they get such a bad rap. Really.
It
It
is.
is. What are some of the biggest threats that they face today?
Well, habitat loss is a major concern,
Okay.
as urban development and agriculture encroach on their desert homes.
Uh-huh.
And unfortunately, they also face persecution due to, that fear and misunderstanding.
Right. Yeah, because people see them and they freak out.
Exactly.
It's sad that something so fascinating and potentially beneficial to humans is facing those kinds of challenges.
Mm.
Are there any conservation efforts underway to protect them?
Yes, thankfully there are. So there are laws in place to protect Gila monsters in certain areas.
Okay, good.
And there are organizations that are really working hard to educate the public about, their ecological importance.
Right, yeah, get the word out.
Exactly. And just trying to dispel those myths that surround them.
So dispel the myths, spread the facts. All right, so let's kind of bring this all together. What have we learned? We've got a creature that's visually stunning, has a really unique adaptation for survival, might hold the key to treating human diseases, and actually turns out it's quite shy and non-aggressive.
Exactly. The Gila monster is this perfect example of why we should approach nature with curiosity and respect rather than fear and prejudice. You never know what wonders are waiting to be discovered if we keep an open mind.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Knowing that something, seemingly scary like a Gila monster could have such positive implications for human health really
Sure.
challenges our perceptions. What other misunderstood creatures are out there that might hold similar secrets? I encourage you, the listener, explore further, maybe even research the development of that diabetes drug. It's a fascinating story. And remember, the next time you encounter something in nature that seems, strange or even frightening, take a moment to learn more about it. You might be surprised by what you discover.
That's great advice.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Fascinating creature.
Until next time, stay curious.